Hey! I recently got back from a trip to New York for the production of our course People Drawing People at Sketchbook Skool. And drawing people is something many artists struggle with, and it's quite possible that, like me, you have bought books to learn from. But what I've found with most books that teach about drawing the human figure is that they are quite boring. It's all very theoretical about building from a stick figure, drawing an egg for an head, dividing it with lines for the placement of the features, counting imaginary heads for the length of a person so you draw them in the right proportion. It's all pretty good probably to know, and it may be helpful for some people, but when you are drawing from observation, does it really help? Can you really use that? None of the artists that I have come across in the recent years use that theoretical approach. And there's one thing that is for sure, there is no one way of drawing people. And at Sketchbook Skool, we love to learn and share many approaches so we can all learn our own. We've worked very hard to get this course together. Building a course from scratch is exciting, and every time it's quite a puzzle, production-wise, budget-wise, and creatively too. Finding the right people for our faculty, figuring out the course material and the course structure. We wanted to fit in a lot of information, inspiration, and many demos to show that there is no one way of drawing people. The week of the actual filming of the course material is at the heart of this production after a lot of preparing. And during the week of the shoot, I did my best to record some stuff to give you a peek behind the scenes. Of course, for me, this week started with traveling from Amsterdam to New York. And what better excuse to practice drawing people? At the airport, there are plenty of people to draw, and I found an interesting point of view to draw them. Lucky we will cover perspective and foreshortening in the course too. It's a 7-hour flight to New York, but even by the time we were taking off, I filled another double page. And then, once you're at your destination, as you do, you take a dumb selfie in Brooklyn to prove it. I arrived in the weekend, so I warmed up my people drawing skills in coffee shops and at a live drawing session together with Tommy Kane, Danny, and his son Jack. I'm not going to share the drawings we did of naked people in there, but it was fun and it was a great way to get our minds set to drawing people. We had a week-long video shoot, and each morning I took the train to Bushwick, where our studio was situated. For this course, we had a completely different way of working than ever before. We rented a studio for a full week, invited 5 artists to share their expertise with us. Vin Ganapathy, Frans Belville Van Stone, Carlos Aponte, Jason Das, and we even flew Felix in from Europe. And of course, Danny and I teach in the course too. So we are in the studio and getting ready for the first drawing with Vin.
So you're talking while you're drawing at the same exact time. So you're going to be kind of looking down for the most part. Yeah, so this should be no higher than this.
Renting a studio like this, instead of filming the artists in their own environments like we usually do, makes sense for this course. We want the course to be a guide for drawing people as much as possible, for it to be a course you can get back to again and again, to study the different approaches to drawing portraits, how to tackle foreshortening, how you capture people moving, and much, much more. We hired professional models for each artist to draw, and filming them all on the bright white background gives a very clean and clear focus on the subject. We also interviewed all the artists in the same setting, and during those interviews we tried to get all the answers to questions we got from all of you in our community about drawing people. It's cold in New York, but it's sunny. But actually it doesn't really matter because we will be in the studio all day. Yesterday we had a fantastic day. Needed to figure out a lot. how to film certain things, how to approach certain things, like interview questions and stuff like that. So today we'll be a little bit more prepared to, we know what to do, let's say it that way. Vin did an amazing job doing 5 demos, amazing. We had a guest, a student from Sketchbook Skool, Andrea, and today we'll have a guest as well. I'm looking forward to another day in the studio. It's freezing! Brr! I was like, it's freezing already! There is so much equipment involved in a video shoot and a continuous download of data from memory cards to hard drives. And where people are working hard, you need snacks. Look at this snack table. Oh my gosh, and there's bagels too. But what I'm more interested in is this bag. These are Carlos Aponte's Ecoline markers. He works magic with those. We had fantastic models selected for each artist in the course. And I think this was the most fabulous model of all.
And he's doing it fashion clothes. Okay.
This is actually Burt Reynolds' plate.
Oh my god, I love it.
Carlos couldn't stop drawing, and while he was waiting for the videographers to do some technical adjustments, he drew Danny. And then Danny drew Carlos while he was capturing movement of his model. Seeing all the artists at work so closely and getting to pick their brains about their techniques and approaches just made our fingers itch to draw. Even while taking notes for later use in the course material, Danny was drawing stuff. And when we went for drinks at the end of the Thursday shoot, we had a bit of a portrait party happening. I feel so very lucky that for my job I get to work and hang out with my sketch heroes. And we also invited 3 lucky Sketchbook Skool students to come take a look behind the scenes in the studio and meet their heroes for a sketch-off or even a portrait party. Jen, how are you feeling about sitting here next to Felix Scheinberger?
So exciting.
Yeah?
Amazing.
That's fine.
You're going to be
Starstruck.
Are you?
Mm-hmm.
You'll be drawing him in just a few minutes.
Easy, just bald head and beard. Yeah.
Just draw an egg and then some hairs.
Yes.
That's what I'm gonna do.
Check, check, check.
And the more, yes, and I will tell you.
Okay.
Oh, I will try.
I'm simple. See, look. See my round face? It's on there.
And all the teachers had the big challenge to draw their models in movement, foreshortening, capture them in 10-minute session portraits, and do a self-portrait as well. Oh, and yeah, the blue booties, I have to mention them. On and off again they went. We had to keep the white background crisp and white, so in 1 week we went through a big bag of these very charming blue booties everyone had to wear. Halfway through the week, we ended up having to repaint the background anyways, in spite of our efforts.
Oh, right there. Yeah, that's weird.
Looks like you're working real hard.
Yeah. Working hard or hardly working?
And then there was the last day, Friday. We had been shooting all week. You can imagine we were kind of exhausted. And then we had to perform, Danny and I, doing demos, recording lesson introductions and recaps in which we are analyzing all the learnings from each lesson. But we got through it. The final video shot, we could say, it's a wrap. We got into editing mode right away and now it's here, the People Drawing People course. And you can sign up for it right now. So if you want to feel more confident about drawing people, this is your course, and you'll find a wonderful community of like-minded people of all skill levels at sketchbookskool.com. I'll see you in class.